Okay, gonna get back at it with the Blackfoot Winter Phrasebook. If you don't know what this project is about, you go to my YouTube channel, my Ryan Heavyhead YouTube channel, look at the playlist called Blackfoot Language, and I think the third video down should be Blackfoot Winter Phrasebook, and that'll tell you about this project. Basically, I'm every day or so, I'm filling in a page or two of this on this blank book of Blackfoot phrases, and I'm really just kind of wandering through the language, but doing it in a way where there's going to be repetition of the grammar along the way, so that people are learning the grammatical patterns and such. So this is my third installment, and in the last time that I made a video, just yesterday, I talked a little bit about how to use intransitive verb stems, some of the person prefixes on those, prefixes and suffixes, and I talked about future tense, durative aspect, talked about the negative prefix when you want to reverse it and say I'm not doing this or that. The prefix for yet or still, so if you want to say I'm not yet doing this, this kind of a thing. So today we'll start kind of with the same patterns that we've already talked about. And in fact, I found a verb stem that is much like the first verb stem that I covered in the opening video. The first verb stem, you remember, was awatasitsippsatox, which is to talk to oneself. So I was going to say, takawatasitsippsatox. I'm going to talk to myself. So today's first verb stem, we're going to have two today, and they're closely related. In fact, one is the intransitive form of it, and one is the transitive form. So it's really the same concept. But we'll start with the intransitive form. And the intransitive form is awatsiksikinox, which is to wake oneself up, right? And this is just the verb stem itself. It doesn't make sense by itself. You have to add person affixes and this kind of thing to it. So if I say nitawatsiksikinox, means I woke myself up, because all I've added is the person prefix nit for first person. If I do second person instead, and I want it to be a negative statement, like for instance, a second person, it's you. If I want to say you didn't wake yourself up, I would say gimatawatsikinox. You didn't wake yourself up. If I want to do third person, remember third person, the suffix is just wa at the end. So awatsikinox is she woke herself up, or he woke himself up. And we talked about third person plural, the long and short form of it. So I'm just going to use the third person plural long form, because that way I don't have to actually say who it was and this kind of thing. If I'm going to say they're going to wake themselves up, I would say akawatsiksikinoxia. Alright, so that's just revisiting the intransitive form again, and what part of the paradigm we've covered yet. We still haven't got into how to talk about we did something, or you all did something. There's several other patterns to learn yet, just in the basic intransitive form. But we did also, in the very first installment, in the book, day 1, I talked about that stem, which is to talk to oneself. But then I also mentioned that sitsipsat, just that portion of it, is a transitive verb stem, meaning to talk to someone, you know. So if I said nitak sitsipsat dao, I would be saying I'll have a talk with him. In the same way, we have this intransitive verb that I've been talking about in this video, awatsiksikinox. And if I take the awat off the front and the ochs off the back, then I just have iksikin. Iksikin is the transitive animate verb stem, and just as a reminder, when we're talking about transitive, it means that it's being done to somebody else, and that's what you're saying with the utterance. It's being done to somebody else, not oneself. And it's not just something like I can say I read, or I'm reading. That's intransitive. I'm not saying I'm reading this book. If I say I'm reading this book, then it's transitive, right? So in this case, iksikin is to wake somebody up. And you notice this is quite different than the intransitive form for waking up in general, which we talked about last time in installment 2, which was ipokaki. It's ipokaki, I woke up. If I'm going to say I woke him up, it's a totally different verb stem. Instead of ipokaki, it's iksikin. And so I say nitsi'powahsin. I woke him up. And that is first person singular transitive to third person singular. So you have the prefix nit, the suffix awa. So, and you can of course add those other kind of elements that I had in there, the tenses and that kind of thing. So if I want to say I haven't woke him up yet, then I'm going to add the negative prefix mat, and I'm going to add the prefix for yet, which is oma, and of course the first person prefix nit still, and the third person suffix aw. So all of this stuff becomes a conglomerate. Niitsi'powahsin. I haven't woke him up yet. So that's how to do first person to third person. First person singular to third person is nit and then awa at the end. Similarly, second person singular to third person singular is git at the front, awa at the end, right? So if I say gitaksiksikin, you're going to wake her up, or you're going to wake him up. Gitaksiksikin. If I'm talking not third person or not first or second person, but third person, like he did this to her, say I want to say she didn't wake him up, then all it's going to take is the suffix yiwa at the end to indicate third person singular doing something to a fourth person singular, right? Or a minor third person singular. So, and since I'm saying she didn't wake him up, I got the negative in front. So, mat is the negative. Matsi'powahsin. Matsi'powahsin is she didn't wake him up. So we will stop right there. That's 2 more pages, and that's installment 3. But we're going to continue to work with these patterns a little bit more. And then I want to move pretty soon into something called frame shifting, where we're going to set up kind of a sentence structure that includes mention of a noun. And I'm going to list a bunch of nouns that could go in that place. Like say if I wanted to say I'm going to go to the store, or I'm going to go to the bank, or I'm going to go to the gas station, you have dakitapu, I'm going to go, but then you're adding these different nouns you can add to it. So you have your frame, then these different things. So we're going to go there pretty soon, but first of all, I just want to kind of like get a basic anchoring in how to use some of the verbs in their most fundamental ways, and then we'll get into some of that.